Ed1138 here, and this is my Friday pickup video. Now, believe it or not, I actually was picking stuff up while you guys were watching a month's worth of Sega pickups, and it's for a few different systems, including a couple of Sega systems. Now, I did not pick up a whole lot of stuff. When you consider this is like a month and a half's worth of pickups, it's not really much for me, but yeah, I don't know, it's worth doing a pickup video on. And initially, I was going to divide it up by company, you know, Nintendo, Atari, Sega, and then that didn't work out so good, so I'm going to divide it up by location now, and it'll kind of be divided up by company. You'll see what I'm talking about. We'll see if it works out. Now, I also have a non-gaming related pickup that I'm going to put all the way at the end of the video, so for all of you people that don't care about non-gaming related pickups, when you see my last Sega Genesis game pop up on the screen, you'll know that that's it. You don't need to watch anymore, unless you want to see the non-gaming related pickup. So, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Okay, here we are. First is Nintendo, and I picked up at the Streetsboro Goodwill about a month or so ago a Game Boy Pocket. It came with Tetris in the back, and this was $1, and that sounds like a fantastic deal, except, well, I mean, it is a good deal because it does work now, but when I found this thing, the battery compartment was filled with corrosion. It had leaked out all over the bottom of the unit, and the whole rest of the unit was just filthy, and the screen was covered with filth, and it looked like it was all scratched up, which it is in fact not after I cleaned it up. And, you know, once I clean the battery compartment out, it works fine. Everything on it works. So, very cool. For $1 and some elbow grease, I have a working Game Boy Pocket. This next group of things here, I also picked up at the Streetsboro Goodwill, but it was like a week ago. And the folks... No, it wasn't a week ago. I think it was just the other day, for that matter. And the folks that like me on Facebook got a glimpse at it first because, you know, I post things on Facebook occasionally. Like me if you want to see them. Now, I bought these because they came in these cool little cases and because they all came with manuals. There you go. Now, I got 9 games. They were, like I said, $1 a piece, and 5 of them I already own, and I'll show you those first, and then 4 I don't actually already own. So, Sky Shark obviously is the first one. 1943 with the slightly torn up manual. Silent Service. The Hunt for Red October, and you know what, you get the idea, they all have manuals. Tecmo Super Bowl, which I'm probably going to give to my friend Court because he's been bugging me for a copy forever, and I can't remember if I'd given him one or not. I gave him one for the Genesis, the Super Tecmo Bowl, and that wasn't good enough. He wants one for the Nintendo. And then these next 4 I did not already own. Battleship, Monopoly, Days of Thunder, and this game I could have swore I owned. It's Operation Wolf, and I could swear that I bought like 4 copies of this. I don't know if I gave them all out, or if MikeGartner stole them when he was in my room here. I have no idea. I mean, I noticed some other games came up missing, so I'll be looking for those, Mike. But, I don't know. I didn't have Operation Wolf, apparently, even though I can distinctly remember buying it at least twice. And then this next one I actually bought at that Cleveland Avenue Exchange, the one that I showed video on here a couple of weeks ago. I picked it up. It was $2.50. It's called Shooting Range, and I picked this up because it is a light gun, and in my opinion, you can never have too many light gun games. The next group here was also picked up at that same location, although on a different visit. If you guys will recall that video, I pointed out a bunch of Atari games, Atari 2600, 7800, and 5200, and they were all marked at $1. And I picked up some Atari 5200 games there when I was in there this time. They had a whole bunch more. And these were all marked at $1 as well, except for one, which was marked at $5, and that is Berserk. But I bought it because I love Berserk, and if you remember from that video, they had another copy of this marked $10. Well, they still have it. They actually have 2 copies of this marked for $10, and then this one that was pushed all the way to the back was $5. So I did spend $5 on this one, but I really, really wanted it. The rest of these were $1. Got Space Shuttle, Super Cobra, which I just restuck the label on there with some glue paste, Congo Bongo, and then a plain looking game called Zenji, which turns out is about a $50 game on eBay, or $40 game, I'm not sure. It's like a puzzle game. I don't know, it's not particularly fun to play. I'm not sure why it's worth that much money. So, I don't know. I'll probably keep that one. Then I picked up another Atari game, but not for the 5200. This one is for the Jaguar CD. It is complete in the box, and when I bought this, it was sealed. Whatever, I have no use for sealed games anyway. And if we pop this out of here, I absolutely believe that it was brand new, because if you look at that, I mean, it's, well, you can't really tell in the video, but the thing is pristine. Got the overlays there, the booklet, and the CD. So this is, I've only got 3 games now. This is the 3rd one for the Jaguar CD. There you go. Jaguar CD games. Next, these were also bought at that same exchange. I think the same time I bought the Atari 5200 games. I picked up a couple of Genesis games here. I'm confused. One of them is a sports game. It is this here, Mario Lemieux Hockey. And again, I picked it up because it was $1, and I wanted to use the case for a couple of other games that I've got. And same thing with this. Steel Talons was $1. Now, I already have a copy of this, but this one is actually in better shape, even though there's still no manual. So I'll swap this out and put it in the box that's got the manual, and then I'll use this box for another game. Then I picked up a couple of $1 Sega CD games that I didn't own. They're not great Sega CD games, but for $1 I am not going to walk by them. Joe Montana's Football and Jeopardy. And I hate to admit this, but I actually like playing this type of game on video game systems. I love Jeopardy. Wheel of Fortune, I'm a sucker for those. I grew up in the 80s, so these things have some nostalgic value for me. And yeah, that's it. So on to the last couple of Sega pickups. So if you don't want to watch a non-game related pickup, these are the last 2 that you're going to see. Added another game to my 32X collection, and this, I actually knew I was getting this because I ordered it from Bree Software. Very cheap, I'm telling you, you gotta check that place out. And it is Brutal Above the Claw for the 32X, and it is in fact complete and in very good condition. And like I said, I knew this one was coming, so when I told you that I only needed 4 more, I still only need 4 more. This was included in that count. And then I picked up a game here that, I don't know, not a lot of people have it, so it must not be a very good game. Musha. Now, I did, unfortunately, get this game card only. I actually made this cover. It came in this here, and I've never seen these for Sega before. I've only ever seen the Nintendo one. But, yeah, it came in the cheap rental case. The game itself is, or the cartridge itself is in really good condition here. There's one little mark right there on top that you're not going to be able to see because my camera won't focus. And then there was a spot here where the label had been broken, and I just put a little red dot there because all this other red stuff going on, it kind of blends. It was more than I normally spend on games, but cheap enough that there is no way I was going to let it sit there. I threw in, like I said, a lowball offer, and when they accepted it, I just took it. So, there you go, Musha, and that is my printed cover. And I actually worked a little harder with this one than I do on most of them. Most of them, when you print them out, they don't quite cover all the way to the edge here. So what I did with this one is I printed it up as big as I could get it, then I put it on the scanner and reprinted it so that it would actually fill the entire case there. So I have an in-box kind of copy of Musha, and then an extra Sega box here. Now, this is the non-gaming related pickup, so if you don't want to watch it, you can tune out here. But you never know. There might be something interesting towards the end of the video, so maybe you'll watch it. I don't know. Here we go. I went to the Goodwill in Medina on Route 18 today, and I stopped there between my first and second stops, and they had something that I really, really wanted. It was this right here. This is, and I haven't cleaned it up yet, a Hitachi laserdisc player. And I almost didn't get this. I have tested it since it's been home, and it does work, and it is in pretty good shape. But when I say I almost didn't get this, what I mean is I stopped by early in the morning between my first 2 stops, and it was sitting there, but it was sitting in with all of this stereo equipment. There was this huge amplifier, I don't know, tons of stuff, and it was all stacked together, and this was lumped in with it. and right on the front of it was a sign that said $300 for all. Well, I didn't want to pay for this, and I was hoping that it had a tag on it, so I pull it out and I'm looking at it, and there's no tag on it. I'm like, crap. I go over and I plug it into the wall and I test it and everything seems to work okay. I'm like, oh, double crap. And then I get an idea. I'm going to be coming back by this way on the way home. So I took this and I moved it over about 15 feet away and I set it on the shelf and then I set a DVD player on top of it. And then I left. And then several hours later, I was driving back through. I go in. I was actually talking to my friend Eldon on the phone when I did this. I go in and there's a lady standing like 5 feet away helping somebody that works at the Goodwill, or a lady that works at the Goodwill was standing 5 feet away helping somebody. So I hung up on the phone with my friend Eldon real quick. And I picked this up and I said, excuse me, ma'am, this doesn't have a price on it and I'd really like to buy it. Could you tell me how much it is? And I was expecting her to say, no, I'm sorry. If there's no price on it, we have to send it to the back. Because that is what they normally do. What she actually said was, huh, what is that? And I said, this is a laserdisc player. You know, it plays like giant DVDs. She said, well, was this part of that stereo package? And I pretend like I don't know what she's talking about. And I say, what stereo package is that? She walks over and she looks where the stereo package was. Somebody actually bought it. Somebody paid $300 for all the other stuff, and this was still sitting there. She goes, oh, I guess not. She marked this for me at $15, which was the price of the DVD player that was sitting on top of it. And yeah, I gave my 35% coupon on top of that, and I ended up getting this for, where did I get this for? I don't know. Whatever it was. I think it was $9 and change. So, yeah. Hitachi Laserdisc player, and the really cool thing about this one is, not just is it a Laserdisc player, or a CD player, where is it at on here? If you look closely right there, one touch, I'm sorry I can't hold it steady enough to let the camera focus, but one touch karaoke. This is actually a karaoke player as well as a Laserdisc and a CD player. And yes, the universal remote that I found at the dollar store for $1 works with this as well. So I have a remote for this one. This one may become, I don't know, it's going to become one of my 2 personal use ones. I've got the one that is dual layer, it'll play both sides of the disc. And then I just like the way this one looks. So there you go. Those are my pickups for the week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you maybe Tuesday. Alright, so next I got a couple of Genesis games here. And I've been meaning to ask this for a while. Whenever you hear somebody say the word Genesis, do you immediately get a picture of the scene in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, where McCoy's talking to the alien about going to Genesis? Where he says, Genesis? I think of that every single time.
All right, damn it. It's Genesis. Genesis? Yes, Genesis. How can you be deaf with ears like that?
We'll see if that one gets past the censors. Paramount will probably be all over that.